Charmander, the lizard Pokemon. It prefers to live in places so hot rain steams off of its tail. Their tails also show off their true strength by burning even brighter. While it may not have a good level up moveset or TM list, Charmander will still prevail. Don't underestimate this fire lizard, because even in the darkness, it will still glimmer, even if others travail. Alright, let's do this. This will be the live audio commentary for Charmander in Pokemon Yellow. If you liked the previous episode Bulbasaur, then this will be pretty much similar to Charmander, or to Bulbasaur in terms of the video structure. So, I'm working on a few things to improve the videos. One, I'm going to try and talk a bit louder so you can hear me more clearly. And I'm going to try to start explaining these fights in a bit more detail. So anyway, let's start with this first fight. Just like Bulbasaur, the rival fight here, he's still pretty dang difficult, because it can just tackle you to death, tail whip 3 times, tackle you, kill you, but what makes Charmander different is its speed tied with the Eevee. So it's got a good shot at going first. Actually, I believe it's either a speed tie or it goes first, because sometimes I see the Eevee go first. I don't know. But the point is, it is a bit easier with Charmander, but all 3 starters are going to have a difficult time with Eevee. So anyway, I have to do a lot of experience manipulation in this speedrun. Because, spoiler alert, Lance's Gyarados, so freaking bad. Oh yeah, the reason I kept going down was because my controller was disconnected and it kept holding down. So I paused the recording and fixed my controller. If you see me like standing in one spot for like more than a second or so, I probably paused the recording to fix the controller because it was like not responding and stuff like that. Anyway, Lance's Gyarados, so fucking bad. Really bad. Because its Hydro Pump is extremely deadly. I do have a solution for Lance though. You'll see, I won't spoil it. You'll see once we get to Lance, but I have to get a lot of levels in. But yeah, I have to fight a ton of extra trainers in this entire game just to beat Lance. So let's just start one at a time. So on round 1, the reason I fought some wild Pokemon, I needed to gain 29 experience or more before getting to the forest. The reason is so I can learn Ember after taking down the first bug catcher, because through routing I went straight to the bug catcher and I didn't learn Ember right away, so I had to use Scratch on the next bug catcher's Weedle just to get Ember. And it's a lot faster to just take down wild Pokemon, get 29 experience, and just have Ember right after this fight. But the reason I had to fight 2 Pokemon was because the first Pokemon only gave me 23. The next one gave me the 29 or more I needed. Alright, so with Ember acquired, the rest of the trainers here are basically just spam Ember. I mean, I don't know what else you expected, but yep. I also need to work on finding stuff to talk about during like moments like this where it's just spam Ember, that's all it really is. Why don't I talk a little bit about like why I choose to fight all the trainers. The reason I choose to fight all the trainers is because Brock's Pokemon resist Ember, but luckily they do not know any rock moves, unlike in Leaf Green where the Onix knows Rock Tomb, and it makes Brock a lot more deadly. But here, I grind all these bug catchers because they really do not take that long to kill, and I'll be level 13 for Brock. Excuse me, I'll be level 13 for Brock, and then Ember will 4-hit kill the Geodude. And the good news is, since Charmander is the fastest of all the 3 Kanto starters, it will outspeed the Onix. Meaning Onix can't play that bullshit shenanigans of using by turn 1, I hit it with Ember, and I have to spam Growl and hope I don't get too much damage in return. So what I can do, I can just hit it with an Ember, and if I see it use Bide, I'll just use Growl. Bulbasaur had that problem where Onix was faster, but luckily it wasn't really that bad because Bulbasaur had Leech Seed and it would just constantly heal. Squirtle, I'm very confident it will not be hard because Squirtle learns Bubble at level 8, I believe. Yeah, level 8 it learns Bubble. And Brock is basically going to be a 2-hit kill with that, so... I think Charmander basically had the hardest time with Brock because I don't want to take too much damage from Tackle because Geodude does do quite a bit of damage to me. So right here, I sell the TM for Bide because no way in heck I'm using that. I buy 2 balls, 7 potions, 3 antidotes, and 3 paralyze heals. In Bulbasaur, I did not buy any antidotes because Bulbasaur cannot get poisoned. But Charmander can get poisoned, so I buy the antidotes to be safe. So right there, I used Scratch by mistake. I did not mean to do that. I'm supposed to spam Ember. So this is one of the routes where I basically fight everybody. With the exception of that youngster that's down that ledge, he's just way too out of the way, I don't deal with him. So I actually do fight this optional last here by spamming Scratch because I need to conserve my power points since I did not heal after defeating Brock. So after that last could have gone a whole lot worse since it did get off a sand attack, which is not good, but oh well, we're past that. So here I spam Ember, and then right afterwards I fight both the Lass and the Bug Catcher. The Bug Catcher I will spam Ember, but the Lass, to conserve power points, I'm going to be using Scratch, because Ember and Scratch will 2-hit kill both their Pokemon either way. Well, I think Nidoran was supposed to be a 3-hit kill, but I think Ember would still be a 3-hit kill. I'm not really sure. Probably would have been a 2-hit kill, but I needed to reserve the power points. Alright, so then I just take this guy down with Ember. And then the next Bug Catcher, you will not believe what I used. I used Ember! Woohoo! Anyway. And I accidentally used Scratch again. Oh wait. Okay, my notes say to use Ember, but there's an error in my notes. I don't have enough Ember power points for this guy, so I have to use Scratch. I'm going to edit the notes right now because whenever I upload these videos, in the description I'll have the same notes in case you want to do your own Charmander challenge, you think you can improve this, stuff like that. You'll have access to my notes. I better fix that. Let's see. Bug Catcher number 3. Spam Scratch. Okay, let me just say, this girl is so freaking hard because she's either really easy or a pain in the ass. One of the two. But right here in this playthrough, she decided to be a pain in the ass. This was my first reset right here, on the Jigglypuff Trainer. I have a lot of bad memories with this Jigglypuff Trainer, mainly from Porygon, because when I was routing out like experience manipulation to learn to be level 22 on Rival 2, I'm surprised I even still remember that. This was one of the trainers I fought. I once had 2 resets on her solely because it kept putting me to sleep or disabling like tackle, stuff like that. She was mainly hard in this battle, or in this game, mainly because she kept putting me to sleep and I take forever to wake up. But in this fight right here, I'm put to sleep twice, and then I wake up, do 1 scratch, and then I'm put to sleep again. I'm literally put to sleep 3 times in this one battle. Like, when I would get off 1 scratch, it would put me to sleep. Yeah, I was pretty frustrated at this. This is the winning attempt, though. It took me 3 resets just to beat this one NPC. It was so stupid. I hate fighting this girl, but unless I absolutely have to, then I won't fight her. Alright, so now we get to go to Mount Moon. Mount Moon, I'm actually fighting every single trainer in it because, like I said, I need all of that experience for Lance. Yeah, Bulbasaur did not have to do all this training, and I'm pretty confident Squirtle will not need to do all that training because Squirtle is a pretty defensive Pokemon. Because I'm sure Squirtle will do good against Lorelei and Agatha. I think Lance will still do good against because it resists Gyarados' Hydro Pump. I don't know, we'll see though. Plus, the fastest evolution to get your rival to have is Flareon, because you just have to defeat it in the lab and skip the optional fight. That will actually make it a lot easier. So, it will be easy for Squirtle, but let's just keep talking about Charmander for now. It may seem like I'm getting sidetracked, but I'm not. I just have to find something to talk about when all I'm doing is literally just fighting random trainers. I don't want to skip ahead in the run because I don't know if some of you will hate that. I do plan on skipping around in this video, but it's only going to be near the end of the video because there are some fights, Lance, champion, there are some fights where there's just so many resets over bad luck and stuff like that. I will basically show you the first few resets, and then I'll just skip ahead to the winning fight, because I'm sure you don't want to see 8 minutes of failed attempts. I'm sure you don't want to see that. Alright, so this guy I just spam Ember. A lot of these guys I basically just spam Ember. I do something interesting though in Mount Moon. I get the TM from Mega Punch, which Bulbasaur couldn't learn, but Charmander can. But I don't teach it. As soon as I get it, I teach it over Leer. And then I get the hidden ether that's right next to it. Usually I never get it because you have to fight a Rocket Grunt to get it. But since you have to fight that Rocket Grunt anyway, it just makes sense to get it. It's in that little boulder straight ahead of me right there. I will get the ether and I'll use it on Ember because I only have like 7 Ember PP left. PP. What am I doing? I'm not Scott. I shouldn't be making PP jokes. Anyway, I use the ether on Ember. I don't know why I paused there for a second. Maybe my controller was acting up. Who knows? And then I teach it over Leer. Something I actually like to do in these type of challenge runs, in Gen 1 and 2 at least, where the moves are like a drop-down list and not like in Gen 3, where it's like two rows and 2 columns, like that little 2x2. In this game, I put the moves I use the most in the 1st or the 4th slot because I can access those really quickly. It's the reason I prefer putting moves that I use a lot in the 1st or 4th slots. That's why you can see, even though I learned Ember onto slot 3, I moved it to slot 1 and I put Scratch in slot 3. Because I'm going to be using Ember way more than Scratch. Basically the 2nd and 3rd moves, like the 2nd move is basically for like maybe a badge boosting move or something. The 3rd slot is for a move I'll rarely ever use. Because the 3rd slot takes 2 inputs to reach. While the 1st slot takes no inputs, the 4th move takes 1 input, the 2nd slot takes 1 input, and the 3rd move takes 2. Alright, so I basically just fought all of the optional trainers. I'm just dealing with stupid wild Pokemon like usual. You know, for a while when I was doing Pokemon Red and Blue custom starter speedruns, you would use this custom ROM where you can set your own starters, set the DVs and stuff. There's only a ROM of this for Red and Blue and Pokemon Crystal. There's none for Yellow. But what you can also do, you're given 6 repels in your PC to completely eliminate Mount Moon RNG. And you can even force specific encounters on certain routes. Like if you needed the 29 experience, I could like force a level 4 Rattata or something, because I know that will give me 29 or more. Yeah, it was pretty interesting. Like, I would just go through Mount Moon, have repels, not have to worry about these Pokemon. But this isn't the Red Custom Starter ROM, this is Pokemon Yellow. So, usually Jesse and James here is very difficult, but they really weren't. This time, at least. So, sorry. Voice is getting tired. Okay, so I healed the center like protocol, and then I get the backyard candy, and then, obviously, I'm not going to go fight Misty right away, unlike with Bulbasaur, because Bulbasaur at least had Vine Whip. Alright, right here, I use 2 Mega Punches, and then I spam Ember on the Sandshrew, and then Ember the Rattata, and Mega Punch times 2 the Eevee. You know, when I was routing this, like, my first draft of this route, I was like level 18 or something, because I did not know at the time just how difficult Lance was going to be. So, I'm going to be very over-leveled for a lot of these fights. So, Charmander, up until, like, the hard fights like Lance and the champion, the reset counter is going to be very low. But as soon as I get to those fights and I start dealing with the RNG, it's going to get really bad really quick. Alright, so these first 5 trainers, I don't fight the Rocket just yet. I go back to the Pokemon Center and restore my power points. But the first 5 trainers, I all spam Ember. I guess I could have used Mega Punch on some of these guys, but I just didn't think of it. Okay, this fight, I basically just spam Ember like usual. I get hit with a Sand Attack. That's not good. Ember, Tackle. I miss the Ember. That's a No, that's not a 256 glitch. That was Sand Attack. But as you can tell, I had 2 power points left. I'm not even sure why I used all those potions, because I might have forgotten at the moment I needed to use the Pokemon Center. I probably could have gotten away with just 1 potion, but whatever. I didn't end up needing them anyway. So then after I heal here, I just go to the Rocket, and then just spam Ember on him, and then you'll probably guess what I'm going to say now, but I fight every trainer on Route 25. Every trainer. I'm going to be doing it for quite a few routes, but not every route though. Like for example, Route 9 and Rock Tunnel, I don't fight every trainer because I don't want to deal with all of those encounters that I'll be getting. Plus, I would have to buy like an extra repel. I didn't really route that in, so I just did the trainer fights at other places. Alright, so right here I get the Slave Charmander like usual. Usually you just teach it Cut and Dig. I'll actually be teaching Dig to my main Charmander because it's going to be its most powerful physical attack. Probably outside of Slash. But Dig will be very helpful for a lot of fights. Okay, so I just fight every trainer. I use a combination of Ember and Mega Punch. There is the TM for Submission here. Wait, is it Submission or Seismic Toss? One of those fighting moves. I believe it's Seismic Toss. Charmander can learn that, but I can't really think of an instance where a Seismic Toss would be helpful. Maybe, I'm pretty sure Seismic Toss can hit Ghost types in this game. Maybe if I was using a fighting type, that its only way to attack Ghosts was with Seismic Toss, then I would get that move. But for Charmander, there's no reason I'd need it. Alright, see right there, I just ran out of potions. If I wasn't being stupid and used those extra potions, I'd have 2 left. But, as I stated earlier, I didn't end up needing them, luckily. Alright, so then I just fight Hiker. I don't know how to make this interesting. I don't want to cut ahead in the footage because I want this to be live. Maybe I'll just talk about stuff that's going on in my personal life. I wouldn't really count this as a plug because I'm just talking over, like, stuff I really don't need to talk about. So, I've been playing a lot of, like, casual Pokemon lately. Like, I'm still doing the speedruns and speedrun challenges and all that garbage, but I've been playing Sword and Shield, Shining Pearl, and I did just beat Legends Arceus a little bit ago. It was a pretty good game. Spoiler alert, the final boss, so difficult. Like, when I saw, like, the second and third phase, I, like, got so mad it took me a few days to train. Oh god. So I've been playing a lot more casual Pokemon because I'm really interested in, like, getting a living dex in those games before Pokemon Scarlet and Violet come out. I want to get a living dex in Sword and Shield and Shining Pearl, and then as soon as Scarlet and Violet come out and those other games I stated are compatible with Home, because BDSP and Legends Arceus are not compatible yet, I want to transfer everything to Home. So yeah, that's what I've been doing during my free time. And I've also been distracted with it the last couple of days, which is why I'm working in overdrive today. Like, I did the editing the route, record this run, and doing the commentary all in one day. Like, I've been working on this the last, like, 5 hours or so. But I know I need to get this done. Okay, so I think I can start talking again about this run. Okay, so right here I used the Pokemon Center to restore my power points. There was a mosquito or something flying around. Fuck, dude. Anyway, as you can see, I'm level 28. Charmander learns Slash at level 30. The good thing about fighting all these trainers, I end up conveniently at level 28, so I can use my 2 candies and teach Slash over Scrap. Wait, no. Over Ember. You may be wondering why I get rid of a Stab Ember. Even with Stab, Ember is weaker than Mega Punch. It's really not worth keeping around. So yeah, that crit was pretty bad, but luckily I was able to tank it, and Charmander gets the first try victory. When I originally routed this, before doing all of those extra fights, I actually went all the way to Vermilion, did the SS Sand, then I came back up to do Misty, and then I fought Surge later. But this is just a lot more efficient. Alright, so the reason I went back to the center to heal was because I ran out of potions. That probably would have been a good time to still have potions. And I didn't want to go into the rest of these fights at so low of a level, so I decided to just heal at the center. Okay, so this route, I do fight every trainer, but they're all really easy. I mean, they've got like Caterpies, Weedles, Weepinbells, other Pokemon I can't remember, Butterfree. There is the last with 3 Pidgey, or no, the junior trainer with 3 Pidgey. She's normally a big pain, but luckily, since I'm way over leveled, I outspeed all of her birds, and Slash will kill them all in one hit. I don't need to worry about that at all. Bulbasaur definitely did struggle with that junior trainer. Okay. Here's the junior trainer I was talking about. In most solo playthroughs, she's sort of treated like a mini-boss, because she's got 3 Pidgey that can all use Sand Attack. And if you don't take her down quickly, she could take you down. Excuse me. So, right here, I was supposed to spam Mega Punch, but I think I used Slash on Spearow by mistake. I didn't mean to do that. So, yeah, that happened. Okay, so right here, I am going to fight every trainer on the SS Sand, but first, I did get the TM for Body Slam, but I do not teach it yet. The reason I don't teach it is because I want to get the most out of my power points. I am going to teach Body Slam over Mega Punch, but Mega Punch still has like 18 power points left. I'm going to completely drain up my Mega Punch power points, and then I'll teach Slash. So, there isn't really too much to talk here. It's all spamming Slash or Mega Punch on all of the trainers. Is there any items I pick up here? I'm trying to remember. Let me look at my notes. Oh yeah, fight everyone on the SS Sand. Once you use up all your Slashes and Mega Punches, teach Body Slam over Mega Punch, use the Elixir, and then spam Slash or Body Slam on the rest of the trainers. Also be sure to get the rare candy, save 5 Body Slams for Rival 3. Yeah, that's basically just it. The reason it says save 5 is because Sandshrew is a 2-hit. I probably could have killed it with Slash, but I never really tested that. I probably should have, but I didn't. Yeah, there are other items I could get here, like an Ether, the TM for Rest, but Charmander does not need Rest. It can help with like helping Charmander heal, but in some fights there's just not a good chance to use it. It may be helpful on a more powerful Pokemon, but definitely not a weak-ass Charmander. I'm sorry, Charmander, but you really are weak. I could get Rest for money, but I don't really need that money. But I did get the Max Potion. The reason I did was because, like I said, I was low on HP and I was out of potions. I don't buy Super Potions until I get off the SS Sand, so yeah, it was not good that I wasted all those potions like that. I probably didn't even need to heal because I'm taking like no damage or anything, but I'm always just real paranoid because I'm trying to get these yellow speedrun analysis videos out on a consistent schedule, bi-weekly schedule. So every now and then I'll use an extra potion, I'll save before a trainer, just in case something happens, you know? I mean, it only costs like, what, 2 seconds to save? It's really not that huge of a time waster. Okay, right there, I used the elixir since I only had like 2 Mega Punches left. I don't think that would have been enough, so I just teach Body Slam over Mega Punch, and then I use the elixir. The reason I use an elixir here when you could save it for later, I originally routed out this entire game using only 4 elixirs. That one by the hiker with the Geodude and the Machop on Route 25. In my original draft, I never picked that up because I wasn't fighting him. I fought the guy with the Onyx. But since I have to fight everybody, I just get the elixir while I'm there. And then I realized, this will actually save time on the SS Sand while grinding. I could just use that. So yeah, that's the reason I'm able to use an elixir here. The other 4 elixirs I'll end up having, they're all going to be used for the Elite Four. Although, spoiler alert, one of the elixirs I did end up using early before Blaine because there was an error in my notes and I didn't have enough dig power points to take him down. So I used an elixir and I got the max ether on Route 23 when you're surfing through the water through the badge gates. I just get that as a replacement. Alright, so right here I just finished the entire SS and all of its trainers except for one, the rival. So right here I would use my full restore, but I was already on full health, so I just decided to save the full restore for later, and it did come in handy later. I'll let you know when we get there. Actually, I'll just say it now before I forget. I do end up fighting every trainer on Cycling Road. There was one moment I got poisoned, and I had no antidotes, so I had the full restore. So yeah, that was pretty helpful. I'm going to rest my voice for about 30 seconds so I can continue talking loud and clearly. Okay, so right here I buy 10 super potions and 5 repels. Normally, people usually buy like 3 or 4 repels because that's all you really need to get through Rock Tunnel, but you only need 3 of them for Rock Tunnel. I buy 2 of the extra repels because they're helpful in 2 spots. One, when you're using the Pokeflute on the Snorlax on Route 16, it's actually, when you get the rare candy hidden in the grass, you'll end up encountering a Pokemon sometimes. So it's always worth, while you're scrolling down in your menu to the Pokeflute, use one single repel and then the Pokeflute. And then the final repel is actually used in the Safari Zone, because once you enter, you're going to be going through a bit of grass. You have to use 2 repels to get through here anyway, 2 super repels. But instead, use your final repel, and then once you use up the last of something, it puts your cursor in the first spot. So you just use the 1 repel, it puts you over the bike, and you use the bike. Okay, speaking of the bike, I listened to some of your guys' comments about the bike being slow and stuff like that. I actually decided to test it. You guys were right about the bike, like, being slow and stuff like that, but that's only if you tried to use it all the time. I actually tested a bunch of different major areas where you have to bike, and I found 3 areas that can save you at least 6 or 7 seconds if you do the inputs good. I even tested it myself and made a little video about it. It's private on my channel. I may link it in the description, we'll see. But the 3 areas it's worth using the bike is 1, going from the bike shop all the way to the underground path on Route 7. You're able to use the bike in one go, and over that long of a distance, you will save a lot of time. I even tested it too, like I said. I'll probably put the video in the description. The second spot it's worth using the bike is inside the Safari Zone, because even with like average inputs, like you keep bumping walls and stuff like that, you'll get to the Surf HM probably like 6 seconds faster than walking. But yeah, obviously if you're not good at the bike you will lose time, but I'm really good at using the bike, and using them at just those specific places will help save time. Everywhere else will either lose you time, or it'll save you so little of time it doesn't make a difference. Like using the bike from the underground path on Route 8 to the Celadon department store, for example. I tested that. It only saves you like less than a second. It's really not worth it at all. So I don't even use the bike there anymore. So the third spot it's worth using, it's on Route 23 in Victory Road. Basically it starts as soon as you're done surfing on Route 23 before you enter Victory Road. That's where you would get on your bike. But only get on that bike if you don't plan on getting that optional rare candy. If you are, don't use the bike, so that way you can get the rare candy without being on a clumsy bike. But if you're going to be avoiding the rare candy, and you're not going to need to do all that careful maneuvering, then you can use the bike straight through to Elite 4, and it'll save you like, I'd say 9 to 10 seconds. That may not seem like a lot of time to some of you guys, but to me, I really care about saving every second where it counts. Alright, so Route 7 right here, this is another route I fight all the trainers. I'm generally doing grinding like this in routes where all the trainers are really packed together. That's where I like to do it. Okay, right here I use Slash on the Grimer, and I use Dig on the Muck. It's the only move that kills it. And right here I learn Flamethrower. I teach it over Body Slam because I don't need it anymore with Slash. So, and then I just use Flamethrower on that Grimer, and then the next set of trainers, that pack of 4 right there, I spam Flamethrower on all of them. They've got like a grand total of, I believe, 12 Pokemon, because I know like once I'm done with these trainers, I have 3 Flamethrowers left. No, actually scratch that. They've got 11 Pokemon. Because I used 1 Flamethrower on that Super Nerd, I'll use 11 Flamethrowers on this group of 4, and then I'll only have 3 left for the Super Nerd at the end of this route. So yeah, it's basically just spam Flamethrower. The reason I don't spam Scratch or Slash is because it'll constantly say critical hit when there doesn't need to be a crit, and it just wastes time. Mainly in-game time it wastes. Real time not so much, but in-game time it does add up. So right here, here's the second Gambler. I just spam Slash on him, and then right after him is the Super Nerd. Yep, Super Nerd. Right there. You know, in the remakes, that guy, the Super Nerd, he's in a position where when you enter the underground path, it's really hard to avoid him, because like if you step like 1 step too far to the left or 1 step down or whatever it is, you'll end up encountering him. So yeah, that's a mistake with the bike. So down here, I've decided it's not worth using the bike. Plus, it'll make it a lot easier to get the elixir, but I kept skipping over the elixir. Yeah, so right here, it's also not worth using the bike at all. Generally, in Celadon City, it's never worth using the bike, because getting from like the Celadon Pokemon Center to the Snorlax through that 1 tile wide little pathway that goes to Snorlax, it's really hard to get your bike in there, because there's no wall you can hit to go straight in there. There's none. So it's just not worth using it there at all. So on that second floor, I bought the 8 Super Repels, I bought the 2 Pokédolls, and I have enough money for 3 vitamins from all those trainers, so all I bought were calcium. It's so my Flamethrower can do more damage, and I can tank more special attacks like Psychic and Psybeam, because there are going to be parts in the run where I do need to tank Psychic moves. Okay, so right here, I swap item 3 with the Super Repels. I use Fly, so that way my cursor doesn't reset, so I can quickly use the calcium. And then after that I use a Super Repel, and then just fly straight to Lavender Town. Alright, I need to scroll in my notes to catch up to where I am. Okay, Rival 4, I spam Slash. Fearow can be a bit irritating. Fearow can be a bit irritating because it can use Mirror Move and copy a Slash. And since Fearow is a normal type, it'll get stabbed from it, which makes it do a lot more damage. Alright, so Pokemon Tower, since the Ghastly give a lot of experience, plus attack stat experience, I'm going to be defeating all of the Channelers. I'm supposed to be using Dig on all of them, but I was all out of Dig, or I was supposed to use Flamethrower, but I was out of Flamethrowers, so Dig will also kill him in one hit, it's just Flamethrower would be faster. The reason I go back here is because I forgot to fight this person. I have to fight every Channeler after all. And then that escape rope was completely pointless. I just didn't know what that item was, and if I needed to get it. I mean, it's helpful to like escape out of places if you don't have Dig, but if you have the Slave Charmander, you'll basically always have Dig. Alright, so then I get the Elixir right there. The reason I'm avoiding all the trainers is because I'm completely out of attacking moves that can hit Ghost types. I'm completely out. So I use the healing pad first, and then I go back to fighting. So now, since I've got Flamethrower PP, I'm actually able to kill the Ghost types pretty quickly. You know something interesting you could do? If you wanted to skip that heal pad, just fight this trainer with the Haunter, and then she'll move out of the way so you can get access to the stairs. But it's usually not worth it, really, because it takes more time to fight a trainer than just to walk through the healing pad and then just walk around the long way to the stairs. Okay, that's the final channeler on this floor, and then I can go straight up to the 5th floor. Okay, I really do not know floors in this tower at all. Alright, so that Pokeball right there is a nugget, I believe. It's not worth getting because I have no reason to need it. I've already done all my shopping, so there's just no reason to do it at all. You know, I just realized something. How come you need the Silph Scope to see wild ghost Pokemon, but not if a channeler has one? And what about other games? How are you able to encounter ghost types without a Silph Scope? It doesn't make any sense. Okay, so right here, I use the Pokédoll. Some people may consider the Pokédoll a glitch, but I don't, because the Pokédoll is actually working as intended. Like, it's programmed to make you run away from any wild encounter. Basically anything that's not a trainer battle. The game just doesn't... The game developers didn't realize, wait, wouldn't they use this on the Marowak? But they just never thought of that. It's technically an exploit. It's not a glitch. An exploit is like spamming 6 double teams. That's an exploit. Using the badge boosts is an exploit, because it's basically how the badge boosts were programmed to work. To like reapply it, because that's how it was coded to do that. Well, it's meant to do it when you first start an encounter, but I don't know. Why don't you just all ignore me, okay? I'm just the guy who speedruns Pokemon Yellow and Leaf Green with all sorts of random Pokemon, so what do I even know? I'm just copying Scott's rules, so that way all these Pokemon can be comparable to Porygon. Because Porygon was done with Scott's rules, so all these Pokemon I will do with Scott's rules, just to make it a level playing field. Plus there's no items in battle, all that stuff, no TM for Double Team till level 100. Mention how it says TM for Double Team. If I can get Double Team via level up or Mimic, I'm allowed to use it. I believe Pikachu can learn Double Team by level up. So Pikachu will have a very overpowered badge boosting move. Excuse me. Okay, so Route 16, Route 17, I fight all these trainers. Oh yeah, I just realized something. I watched a video by RBY Pokemon Challenges this morning. He did a race with Bellsprout with Double Team and a Bellsprout versus Growth and Sleep Powder. It basically ended up determining that while Double Team is faster in a lot of places, it doesn't really work against opponents that can kill you in 2 hits. If you're a higher level than the opponents and the opponent takes several hits to hit you, then Double Team's pretty good. But if the opponent can kill you pretty quickly, it's best to have a Sleep Powder move. A sleep-inducing move. So, Double Team and Sleep Powder are both broken in this game in their own ways. I mean, nowadays, in like Leaf Green, for example, I guess that's not really now, but I'm just comparing to Leaf Green, because that's one of the other Pokemon games I know to a far extent. Okay, but first, right here, the reason I healed was because I got poisoned a second time, and I didn't have the antidote, and I already used the full restore on another poison. So, yeah, that was a bit of a waste of time. But I guess not, because I realized I forgot to fight this guy, and if I didn't fight this guy, my experience would be off and I wouldn't know why. So I guess it's a good thing I did that. So anyway, in Leaf Green, Sleep is obviously a lot less broken since you can attack the turn something wakes up. Double Team is still broken, but not as much, because in Gen 1, Double Team can cause the badge boosts, which is really overpowered. But in Leaf Green, the badge boosts work as intended. They only boost your stats at the start of the fight, and that's it. So, yeah, the reason in Leaf Green I still use Double Team is because I generally only use it with Pokemon that absolutely need it in order to progress. Because I didn't want each of my Leaf Green videos to be me grinding to a high level and hoping to get good luck. Because like in Pokemon Yellow, it is a lot easier to solo run Pokemon because like think about it, you could beat the champion with a level 55 Bulbasaur with no items. You could not do that in Leaf Green. The Bulbasaur would have to be in the late 70s to early 80s in order to have a chance at the champion. Plus the movesets are a lot better. Since in my opinion, since the enemy teams are a lot stronger, you don't have access to badge boosts, I think it's only fair to allow Double Team. But it's not like I use it on everybody right away, because Double Team still takes time to set up and it is pretty luck dependent. But I generally only teach it to the Pokemon, like if it absolutely needs it. Like Houndoom, for example, needed it at Bruno because it could not get past Onix's rock moves. Like Shroomish needed it because it just kept getting killed by everything. And I was already overleveled, so that I needed it then. But some Pokemon like Mew and Celebi did not. So anyway, let me start talking about Charmander again. As you can see, over Scratch I taught Fire Spin. Fire Spin is pretty weak of a move, but it is still broken in Gen 1 since it prevents the opponent's Pokemon from moving. This will be the key to taking down Gyarados, Lance's Gyarados. So, I have to keep Fire Spin on my moveset. Alright, so right there I get the full restore, and my regular repel wore off, and a super repel will last the whole rest of the way. So, if anyone out there is watching this, like who does these challenges for Gen 1, here's a little tip. Get 5 repels. 3 for Rock Tunnel, 1 for Route 16 if you want to get that rare candy, and 1 for the Safari Zone. So that way you can use the rest of your super repels afterwards. That's just my 2 cents. You don't have to listen to me, but I mean, as the guy who has a Charmander video, I think I have a right to an opinion. Okay, so after I got the HM for Surf, I go to Erica's gym and I fight everybody in here. Of course, it's always just fighting people. there's about another 38 minutes left to this video, because I'm replaying this video through OBS with the media source. I just captured the Charmander video. I have a web camera captured, which is how you're seeing my face, and then I just talk over it live commentary style. I don't really script out these runs right here. This series, I do not script it, because I think some of you actually said you like the more live audio commentary unscripted experience. I will still script out the 386 speedrun challenge, because I like those videos to be more professional, but these videos, I just feel like it's a nice way for me to talk about a Pokemon, like doing a challenge run through a game, without like skipping all over the place and having that background music. Well, I guess I will be having background music in this, because I didn't record game audio, and I don't want it to be dead silence when I'm not talking, so I will be putting in some music. But I feel like if you do it scripted style and like cut to only the important fights, you really cannot see just how difficult of a run some Pokemon have. So I feel like doing it this way with Yellow is really a good idea. I won't do it for Leaf Green though, I'll stick to that being scripted. Okay, so right there, I basically just spammed Flamethrower for the entire win, so that was pretty good. And then right here, I go fly to Fuchsia, I heal at the center here because I have to, and then I fight everybody in Koga's gym. It'll get to a point where I will not be continually fighting trainers. You know, funny thing is, when I realized just what level I had to be for Lance, I started rerouting this out this morning with all of those different trainers in mind. Oh, no, like with that level in mind, and I just kept fighting everybody, because I didn't know, like, how many trainers I'd have to fight. But luckily, first try, I was able to set it up to where by the time I got to Lance, I was at the exact level I needed. Like, after I defeated Agatha's second Haunter, I got to that level. So that was basically perfect. I'm really surprised I got that first try. Okay, right here. Koga. Okay. Koga used to be pretty difficult to figure out, especially since I used to be a lower level when I routed this out the first time, because like I said, I wasn't fighting all of these trainers. I believe I was level 41 or so when I first fought Koga. It wasn't helpful. Even though I outsped the Venonat, it was still a range with Flamethrower. Some of them wouldn't even die to Flamethrower. But luckily, since I'm pretty sure I'll be level 51, or 50. I'll be level 50 for this fight, and the first 3 Venonat will die to Flamethrower, and then Venomoth is a 2-hit. But unfortunately, Venomoth still outspeeds me, so I have to hope it doesn't use awful moves, but luckily it used only 2 double teams and I'm still able to hit it. Like, what it could do is, like, use a Psychic to deal, like, 3/4 of my HP. Or it could use Leech Life, or Toxic. I probably would have preferred Toxic. Okay, so right here, here's a little piece of advice. When you teach Surf and Strength to Squirtle, teach Surf first and then Strength. So that way, Strength will be at the top of the move list because you replace Tackle with it. And then when you're in Victory Road, you go in your menu, you'll be able to select Strength a lot quicker. But obviously you won't be able to select Surf as quickly, but you're going to use Strength a lot more than Surf, so that will save you time. So back when I was teaching Surf and Strength, I did throw away the TM for Mega Drain, because I start to run out of bag space, and I just need to throw away one item. So that's the item I throw away. Excuse me. Okay, so I get the card key, and then I unlock that door. and I get the free protein that's there because I'll be going straight to the 7th floor to get Swords Dance. If I'm going up there, I always get the protein, but if not, then I just skip the protein and go straight to Rival 5. So right here, there's a rare candy and a Carbos. I don't need the Carbos because I'm already over leveled and Charmander is already the fastest starter. I believe Bulbasaur is the slowest, I'm not sure. But yeah, the only thing I need is the rare candy. I tried to grab the Carbos anyway, because maybe I had enough room for it, I could use it anyway, but no. It was completely useless for me to even try that in the first place. Alright, so right here, I use the protein, and then I teach Swords Dance over Slash. Slash does not go good with Swords Dance since it always crits, and it'll ignore the attack buffs that Swords Dance gives. So Swords Dance and Dig is a lot better. So right here, there's a mistake in my notes. It's a mistake that I forgot to fix. I used 3 Swords Dances, I was about to use Dig, but I used Flamethrower, and then I realized, wait a minute, I was supposed to use Dig, I don't use Flamethrower. So it was an error in my notes, but luckily, while doing the run, I paused the recording and I fixed it. So it originally said 3 Swords Dance spam Flamethrower, but now it'll say spam Dig like it's supposed to. Imagine if I got a reset solely because of a mistake in my notes. That wouldn't be funny actually, that'd be pretty stupid. Okay, so Jesse and James and Giovanni, they're both very easy. I don't use any Swords Dances because I don't have Blaine's badge to boost my special. There's no point in doing it. So I basically just spam Flamethrower on both of them. Alright, now to just wait for those fights to finish. Alright, 31 more minutes left of video. Well, for me at least, but not for you, because, like I said, when I get to the final 2 fights, Lance and the Champion, I do go through a lot of resets. So I will be showing a few resets, and then skipping ahead to the winning attempt. I wrote down on a little note card I have right here, like, what I have to fast forward to. Like, I basically just wrote down the reset, what my reset counter was when I won. So I'll be fast forwarding to do that. So, as you can see, I threw away that escape rope I picked up by mistake because I had no room in my bag. So if I didn't have the escape rope, I would have had 19 slots in my inventory. And I would have had enough to get Mimic. Because what's stupid is when you get Mimic, instead of like swapping the Pokédoll for Mimic, you're given Mimic and then she takes the Pokédoll. So you have to have the room. So right here I got a reset because Kadabra critted me. Even at this high of a level, a critical hit Psychic will still kill me. So what I do, I use Dig on the first Abra, and I set up 2 Swords Dances. I got a Kinesis on me, that's not good, but luckily it didn't affect me too much, and I'm still able to win. Originally, when I routed this out, I used Swift, but none of the moves I have I can replace with Swift. I need Flamethrower, I need Swords Dance, I need Dig, and I need Fire Spin. So I completely eliminated Swift from my moveset. So that's the reason I don't set up on Abra. It's because I'm going to end up getting my accuracy lowered even more. I mean, there's always the 25% chance of it missing Flash, but yeah. Okay, so right here, I do grab the Carbos because it's right on the path. There are a few vitamins in this game, like the protein in the Safari Zone, the Carbos in the Mansion, and the those are just some of like the vitamins you get that are like right on your path. So I always just get them because they're right there. Alright, so then I fly to Cinnabar Island and I'm prepared to fight Blaine. I really like how in yellow though, like when you talk to those other machines, it doesn't ask you, this is a quiz, if you want to go to the gym leader, then get the question right, here we go. It only says that on the first one, so the text boxes are a lot better. So, as you can see, I'm at an in-game time of 3:29, which is pretty good, for this point in the game at least. So right here, I used one Swords Dance, I got a bit of extra badge boost from Ninetales. It isn't really required, but it's just a nice bonus. And then this was where I realized my mistake. I did not have enough digs. I tried to like spam Flamethrower on Rapidash and save dig for Arcanine, but it really didn't work. So what I had to do was use one of my Elite Four elixirs in order to have enough dig, so I didn't have to leave and go to the center. But luckily on Route 23, I do get the Max Ether, which I replaced with that elixir, so it's still all fine. It's just I had to waste a bit of extra time. If I had routed this better, I would have, when I dug out back to Saffron from Sabrina's gym, I would have healed up at Saffron before flying to Cinnabar Island. That's what I would have done. Alright, so now I go to Viridian City, and now I'm all ready to do Giovanni. So on the first two gym trainers, you noticed I said just first two. I'm not fighting everyone in here anymore. I'm all done with most of the extra grinding. The only extra grinding I have to do is just a couple of trainers in Victory Road. Because I've been saving all my rare candies, I have to be level 65 by the time I get to Lorelei. So when I get to level 57, I believe, I will have 8 rare candies in my bag, because I'll be getting the one in Victory Road, and then I can just use them all up to get to 65. So yeah, that's the reason I have not been using the rare candies. And besides, I'm already very over leveled. There's no point in me using the rare candies. Okay, right here, on Doug Trio, I spam Dig, but unfortunately since it's faster, it can kill you with Fissure, which is always a threat. But I got a critical hit Earthquake, so that was a reset. The reason I spam Dig is because since Doug Trio is faster, if it uses Dig, then I use Dig, it pops up, nothing happens, and then I pop up. And it goes down to 2 digs. It's the best move to take it down with. Yep, right here. It missed the Fissure, luckily, and then I'm able to take it down. So right here, I have to use 3 Swords Dances. The Persian can use Double Team, which is a pain, but luckily it only gets off 1, and I'm able to take it down with Dig. And then the rest of Giovanni's Pokemon just go down to 1 dig. I believe the Nidoqueen is a range, because during routing, I believe she lived on like 1 HP or something, but luckily that doesn't happen, and I'm able to win. Alright, now on to the final 6 fights. Let's do this shit. I might do that in this series too, just because it's an iconic phrase of mine. Okay, so right here I heal at the Viridian Center to prepare to fight Rival 6. Here's what I do for Rival 6. I use 3 Swords Dances on Sandslash. Luckily, it doesn't have Earthquake at this point. It doesn't have it till the champion fight, so I don't have to worry about dying to something like that. But it does have Swift and Slash. Slash is already a pretty bad move. Fury Swipes is just a bad move in general. It does have Swift. It can hit me underground. That's one of the bad things about it. Alright, so since I'm a high level, and due to those special badge boosts, a Flamethrower will kill the Cloyster. I'm pretty sure a Dig would have killed it as well, but it was just faster to use Flamethrower. Alright, so then right here, I'm able to win the rival battle. You know, if Lance and the champion actually went good, I think Charmander would have had way less resets. But then again, Charmander had to do so much more grinding. It's crazy. Alright, so right here, like if I wasn't getting the rare candy, I don't use the bike here yet since I have to surf. The good time to use the bike for Victory Road is, hold on. Alright, I throw away that PP up because that was an error in my notes. That was when I originally had Fire Blast on my moveset for the Elite Four, because Cloyster would not go down to a Dig boosted by 3 Swords Dances, but it would go down to a Fire Blast. But since I'm way higher leveled, like, Fire Blast wasn't necessary, but I still ended up picking the PP up. And of course I did that by mistake, so I have to do this again. So, as soon as I got out of the water, back on Route 23, that would have been the time to use the bike. It's really nice to use the bike in here due to all the walls you can just bump, and you're able to stay online. But if you're going to be getting this, don't use the bike, because it makes it way too hard and way too slow. So, I only fight 2 extra trainers. So, the first one I fight is this cool trainer female. I use 1 Swords Dance, and then I Flamethrower the Persian, and then I use Dig on the Ninetales. But it missed the range, and then Ninetales used Quick Attack to kill me, but luckily, my instincts kicked in for me to save, so I did. That's the reason sometimes I'll just save, because I seem to have a pretty good talent of predicting when I'm going to die. Because it's like whenever I seem to die to a lot of stupid scenarios, I saved right beforehand. I don't even save before every trainer, just when I have a gut feeling that I should. I've got a pretty good gift for that, because I normally wouldn't save before that trainer because she's pretty easy to take down, but I had the feeling she was going to pull some sort of bullshit on me, so I figured I'd just do it. Alright. I mean, you could argue it's worth getting on the bike here, but you're already progressed so far in Victory Road. It's really not worth it. Just walk the whole way. You'll only save like maybe 3 seconds. It only adds up to major time save if you get on the bike at the very start and you don't fight any trainers. That's the only time it's really worth it. Okay, so I'm just pushing the boulder. Okay, almost there. My repel wore out, and I have 1 super repel left. That just shows you 5 repels and 8 super repels are the way to go. Like, that's the perfect amount. Also, when you're going through Victory Road, you do get off your bike when you fall down that hole, but you can easily just get back on the bike. But you don't have to if you don't want to. It won't save too much extra time, but it's not like you'll really lose any time either. You can still argue with me in the comments about the bike, but I'm going to stick to using the bike just in those specific locations I kept talking about. I'm not going to completely abandon the bike. Even though people like Van Man may completely abandon it, I will not completely abandon it. I will just save it for those few areas. Alright, so right here, I'm level 57. I'm going to use all 8 rare candies to get to level 65. I have to keep holding B every time this thing evolves. It's irritating. It's one of the reasons Porygon got such a fast time. It didn't need to evolve and shit like that. Okay, now we can get on to the Elite Four fight. Lorelei was pretty hard when I initially routed this out since I was level 55 or something when first fighting her. So what I do, I use 3 Swords Dances. Normally I expected to use Bubble Beam, Rest, then Bubble Beam. I will survive 2 Bubble Beams on +3 badge boosted special, so that's fine. Now, I think here I was supposed to use Flamethrower, but I couldn't remember if it killed or not, so I just used Dig just to be safe. I'm pretty sure it does kill, because if Fire Blast can kill it at level 55, I'm pretty sure a level 65 Flamethrower can take it down. So, Lapras is also easy. It used to be a range at the original level I came here, but now it's not a range, I can get it every time. So, next we have Bruno. Bruno, no. That's such a dumb song. Okay, so right here I have to use 3 Swords Dances on Onix, and then I use Dig. And then on Hitmonchan and Hitmonlee, I use Flamethrower since they have really low special. And there's no point in using Dig, they'll die to Flamethrower anyway. Machamp actually has decent special, so it's just best to take that down with Dig. But yeah, the only Pokemon here I actually take damage from is the first Onix. Well, I guess the second Onix too, but I accidentally used Swords Dance on it. I should have just used Dig and killed it right away, but oh well. Okay, right here is Agatha. Agatha is actually one of the easiest members, mainly because I have Dig. So here's what I do. I only need to use one Swords Dance. It uses a substitute, so I just use a Flamethrower to break it really quick, and then I just go underground. Luckily, it didn't use another substitute while I was underground, so I was able to take it down with Dig, and I'm supposed to use 2 Flamethrowers on the Haunter, but it did switch out to Golbat, or Haunter, it switched to Haunter, so I swapped to a Dig. And then right here, it dies to 1 Dig as well, so yeah, that's pretty easy. So right there, exactly level 67. That's the level I need to be at Lance for. So that experience routing I did was perfect. Okay, right here, this is going to be a pain. Here's what I have to do for Lance. I have to teach Toxic over Flamethrower because I no longer need Toxic, or I no longer need Flamethrower, and then I teach Mimic over Dig because Dig is not going to kill his Dragonite and Aerodactyl. So here's what I do. The only way to take down Gyarados is to use Toxic, hope for a Hydro Pump miss, and spam Fire Spin and land the Fire Spins. This fight is so hard. I remember like a few years ago when I routed out a Charmander speedrun for Pokemon Red, what I ended up doing for Lance, I swapped to a Pidgey and a Vaporeon I had for Surf that I got from an Eevee, because that Eevee had Sand Attack. I would get 6 Sand Attacks put on Gyarados, and then I would use I believe I used Swords Dance or Leer. I can't remember what I used. But I do know that I had to get 6 Sand Attacks put on Gyarados. Like, it was so bad. So yeah, you can see how I missed 2 Fire Spins in a row. If I get hit by a Hydro Pump, even though I can survive it, it's an immediate reset, because right after Gyarados is Dragonair. I have to use 3 Swords Dance on it, Mimic Hyper Beam, and then the whole rest of his team goes down to Hyper Beam. The main problem with Dragonair though, it knows Thunder Wave. I guess Thunderbolt can paralyze you too, but Thunder Wave is the bigger threat. Because I do not need my speed cut in half, and then face up against really fast Pokemon like Aerodactyl. So yeah, I need to get past the Gyarados here, and I need to get past the Dragonair without a Thunder Wave. I only get past the Gyarados like 3 or 4 times. One of those times resulted in a Thunder Wave. It was bad. Alright, I'm gonna skip ahead now to the winning attempt. You can see my reset counter slowly going up. Okay, right here, this is the winning attempt. My reset counter was at 39 when I finally won this fight. Here's the fight in action. I use a Toxic, miss the Hydro Pump, and I actually hit my Fire Spins. Fire Spin plus Toxic is a really good combination if you need to use it. So then right here I use my 3 Swords Dances. Luckily it uses a Hyper Beam, so the third turn it has to recharge. And then I just Mimic Hyper Beam, I don't get paralyzed, and boom. The whole rest of Lance is taken down with Hyper Beam. Even Aerodactyl, because even though it's a part Rock type. That's just how powerful Hyper Beam is with 6 plus attack from Swords Dance and all those extra badge boosts. Okay, here is the final fight, the champion. This fight also takes quite a bit of resets, but it only takes like 11 or 12 resets because my reset counter was 51 when I finally won this fight. I'm going to skip ahead to that because I'm going to show you what I had to do. Alright. Right here, on Sandslash, I have to spam Fire Spin, and hope it doesn't hit Earthquake, because it will kill and put me in red bar, which I don't want. So on Alakazam, I have to use one Swords Dance in order to badge boost my speed, and then I use Toxic on it, and then I use Fire Spin. This Alakazam can really screw you over because it can drop your accuracy with Kinesis, or it can crit you pretty easily and kill you. Okay, right here, I use my 2 remaining Swords Dances. As you can see, I get real dangerously low here. And then I Mimic Stomp, because that's the most powerful physical move on his entire team that I can easily learn. And then I use 1 Fire Spin, and then I Stomp to kill it. The Magneton goes down to 1 Stomp. Cloyster, I have to use a Fire Spin on it, just to get it to below half. Luckily, both sets of Fire Spin were able to hit, and then I just use a Stomp to kill it. It didn't use a full restore, and then Stomp the Flareon for the win, and done. I hope you enjoyed the run. Charmander got a real time of 1 hour, 21 minutes, and 35 seconds. That is still a pretty good time for a first stage starter, and it got an in-game time of 4 hours and 19 minutes. When I did this run for the first time, it got over 6 hours. But Charmander getting an in-game time that close to Bulbasaur is pretty impressive. When you average together Charmander's 2 times, it gets a final time of 2 hours, 50 minutes, and 17 seconds. While it does put Charmander in dead last place on the leaderboard, we still have Squirtle and Pikachu left to go, to see who is really the fastest Kanto starter of them all. That's all I've got for you. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. It really means a lot to me. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next speedrun.